Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to our Project Hack solution presentation for Challenge 5 from all of us here at Team 5A, our codename Defy the Drift. We named ourselves Team Hackapillar, and our team consists of Andy Jones from Bovis, Corin England from WSP, Josh Wise from Hot PMO, Eleanor Price from WSP, and Zara Harvey from DSW Learning. Our skill sets range across multiple fields, and we've all put our heads together to make some key data analysis decisions for the challenge we faced over the last 2 days. We chose Challenge 5 as we were all keen to learn to work with non-numerical qualitative data, and the issue of assumption drift is a real-world challenge that each of us are experiencing within our organisations. Challenge 5 involves dealing with critical assumptions drift. Project assumptions often shift over time. This can be due to internal factors such as budget allocations or reassignments, or external factors such as government decisions and interest rates. The drift can affect the delivery schedules and erodes project confidence. Our solution is focused on effectively capturing assumptions, categorizing into impact, risk type, and probability to affect delivery, and monitor the timing of the assumptions closely, allowing portfolio managers to keep an eye on drift. Effective external data sources and scoring assumptions allows oversight of the factors that are beginning to cause assumption drift and warn the assurance leads and project managers before disruption to delivery begins.
We reviewed the customer pain points and used these as the brief for the challenge and to inform our solution. We addressed 6 of the 7 customer pain points, with a key focus on tracking time and creating timely alerts to ensure that assumption review dates are planned for and met, or defy the drift. Our solution aims to provide a clear and concise summary of assumptions and develop a dashboard where a quick look can show the assumption drift. Automatic alerts will be sent when review times are slipping, helping to defy the drift.
We started by looking at the challenge requirements as shown in the Defining Your Product section of the Miro board. From there, we developed our product vision of a dashboard to summarize the assumptions combined with alerts that are sent when reviews are upcoming or overdue. We identified the items that would add value and resolved the pain points felt by the portfolio managers and assurance lead by categorizing the data and adding time slices on the build to the review deadline. We then designed a dashboard layout that would be beneficial to the portfolio managers and assurance lead to give them a clear and easy to digest view of the status of the assumptions in the project. We wanted to make it easy as checking your watch to find the critical issue items that are most overdue, but with the ability to drill down into individual assumptions. The limited data provided shows the dataset was in its infancy. The categories of the assumptions needed to be rationalized to allow the number of assumptions by category to be visualized. The provided impact statements are qualitative data which cannot be visualized. To resolve this, we introduce an impact type field to allow us to categorize the impact on the project to allow it to be visualized. The dataset could be further improved by recording an estimate of the additional cost or time required to better show the impact the assumption could have. In the future, the use of Microsoft Forms could provide better entry validation and version history tracking.
RSS feeds provide automatic, real-time updates from websites, blogs and podcasts, allowing users to pull content into one place without visiting each site. These feeds deliver new content instantly via dedicated readers, web browsers or plugins, so we created a bundled RSS feed that allowed key criteria to pull in all news articles regarding any changes in the external factors. These then feed into the Power BI dashboard. This provides real-time updates for all relevant news articles the moment they are published. One of the main pain points was warning when assumption drift may threaten schedule. Therefore, we created a Power Automate that runs every day at 8 AM. What this does is it runs a query on the Power BI dashboard and pulls the information into a HTML table. It then composes an email that will be sent directly to the assurance lead, advising them of any assumptions that are both overdue and fall into the 1-week warning category. Once the assurance lead receives the email, they get a snapshot of the assumption that requires the most immediate action and can log on to the dashboard to see the information in more detail.
Users can filter by relevant categories based on the assumption descriptions. A card will show the details of the most overdue review date or the one with the closest review date, and the potential of wrong assumptions is shown from high to low, separated by internal and external factors. The number of each external assumption is also simplified into categories. The time until the next assumption review and the number of overdue reviews is also shown. Any recent RSS alerts similarly categorized are connecting to these assumptions, and these alerts are shown in the RSS tab with a link. At each point, the assumption IDs and details are filtered by the selection. At every stage, a colourblind safe palette was used with a clear category and RAG distinctions.
We have identified items for solution expansion where we didn't have the time or the capability to include them. This would be a closer look at how we could integrate the RSS feeds, looking more at the Microsoft form, so creating clarity for inputting data, and then expanding the dashboard to showcase how we could highlight an entire portfolio rather than a single project.
In terms of how our solution handles an assumption with no credible external data source and what it would default to, one of our early actions to attempt to get ahead of this was to categorize assumptions to guide where external data sources should be linked to, using the RSS feed to highlight updates to the GDPR, the AI ethics, the legislation and inflation, before linking it to our categories. However, if no credible source is linked or found through RSS, a potential future resource we could rely on would be an LLM, which could read through the keywords and data sources to determine the high or low confidence. This is an additional thing we could use to expand our solution in future.
A project team should be able to simply pick up Defy the Drift, set up a project space. The minimum viable assumption register is listed on the slide here, and again should be straightforward using the Microsoft forms to input the data.
In response to the question, how does your solution enforce that distinction at the point of entry and what stops users from logging a risk as an assumption, the project team member would enter their assumptions via a form, which on submission would be sent to the project lead for review. When the project lead reviews the submission, if they find it to be a risk, the project lead will redirect the submission to the risk register. The same would work for assumptions being entered as risks. In the future, we would look to upgrade the solutions, include the use of an LLM to differentiate between assumptions and risks.